Hey guys, welcome back. So I've managed to cobble together some parts for the weed whacker here. I got a new housing, a new head, drive shaft, outer shaft. Now, the whole reason I had to get a new head is, you're not going to be able to see this, I don't think, maybe. So this is a square drive shaft. I could not find a square drive shaft anywhere, so I have to convert this to a spline drive. Yeah, see, this is a spline drive. Also spline drive. Spline drive. So, rather than just changing the drive shaft and outer shaft, I have to do a housing swap. Anyways, all of these parts are cheaper than buying a brand new weed whacker. Not by much, but cheaper anyways. So that's what I'm going to do, is kind of cobble this weed whacker back together and hopefully end up with a working weed whacker at the end of it. So I'm going to get to work doing that. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Andy. I quit my job in Canada, sold all my stuff, and moved to Belize. I'm living in the jungle and starting a hot sauce company from scratch. Living and working in the jungle requires a lot of skills, patience, and perseverance. It's a harsh environment to live and work in, but it's also beautiful and I enjoy the challenge. I'm a millwright by trade, and I've been messing with dirt bikes and small engines since I was a teenager, which are skills that come in handy every day here. So, I ran into a slight issue here. This new shaft, it's the right size for the housing and it's the right size for the head, but it's about 100 thou bigger than the old shaft. So now the clamp that holds the handle on, the handles, is slightly too small. So that's no good. Everything else went together really smooth. I had to drill a couple holes for these little like positioning locking bolts, but that was simple. So yeah, basically I just need to get the handles back on and it's ready to go. So I could fire it up right now to see, but I'm pretty confident it's all going to work. So just waiting for confirmation on that and we'll see. So I'm here at Universal Hardware in Belize City, and I just picked up what I think is the right clamp for the weed whacker to hold the handlebars onto the new shaft. It's rubber mounted, so it should be nice and comfortable, less vibrations, but we'll see if it works. Now, where I'm going next, I think you guys are gonna laugh, especially Canadians that are watching this. I'll show you. We're here at Caribbean Tire. Sound a little familiar? Alright, so I got the clamp for the handlebars. I got it all back together. I got the head off right now, but I fired it up and it was making a sound like the drive shaft was hitting this inner tube. The original shafts have like spacers in them and bushings. It's a totally different style shaft. It's like a wrapped wire shaft. I don't know how to explain it. This is like a straight metal shaft. I think I'm missing some bushings that go inside the shaft, so I guess that's the next part to try and track down. I think I'm gonna go back to the city tomorrow and try and find those pieces, but yeah, I fired it up and I was not happy with the sounds it was making. So yeah, once again, back to the drawing board with that. There's a Jaguar Indy. No way. started running again. This will be my 4th run. My knees are really sore, but I think I'm gonna try and do 5 kilometers today. Feels good to get back into it, but it's also kind of weird knowing, like, once it's rainy season again, it'll be like another 6 months where I can't run. Whatever. Feels good to do it now. Rainy season. If I really want to, I can come out and run on the main road in the village. But anyways, yeah. A little fitness update. Trying to run through the pain. I think my knees are actually sore from weed whacking the ponds, being on the side hills. Anyways, I'm gonna keep going. I'm just on another run. I almost just freaking tripped over a jaguarundi. I was running past the ponds. I glanced over at the ponds just to have a look. And when I looked back on the road, the jaguarundi was like, I don't know, less than 15 feet in front of me. It looked back at me. I saw its unmistakable, weird little jaguarundi face. And then it started trotting. It didn't sprint. It trotted up the road in front of me just long enough that I tried to get my camera out, my phone out, and then it hopped off into the bush. That was super cool. Unreal. I kind of hope that's the biggest cat I see. But man, what a cool freaking experience that was. It's my 2nd jaguarundi sighting this week. Whew. And that was close enough to the house that I'd say it's probably smelling our chickens. So definitely got to keep an eye out for it. Anyways, I'm gonna keep running. Hey, what's up? So in the last episode, I was talking about starting a new grow right here, like tomatoes and cucumbers and stuff like that. So I'm gonna start that project today. So in the spirit of that project, here we have this tomato plant. I didn't even plant this, it just kind of came up in one of the pots, so I've been letting it go. But it's, I mean, that's less than a foot from the roof of the greenhouse, so that's like a over 7-foot tomato plant, and the cage ends here. So I went out and I bought a cage, fencing that's about a foot taller. So I'm gonna have taller cages for these outside pots. But yeah, these tomatoes are, look at all the flowers on this one. If these all turn into tomatoes, holy crap. Oh, we have our number one scourge right here. These caterpillars. They're gonna be the death of me. Anyways, yeah, I didn't even plant these. I didn't plant this one either. It just came up. 2 different kinds. We got these round ones. I don't know exactly what kind they are, but these are more like a Roma, like a sauce tomato. Man, if all of these turn into tomatoes, this is going to be a nice plant. I have this one over here, also a volunteer that just popped up. And then these ones, I actually planted these ones. These are like a Guatemalan variety. So anyways, I need to mix soil for these new plants that are going up. So that's what I'm going to start doing now. I'm going to mix it in here in the greenhouse, right here. I have this nice floor space. It's a lot cooler to work in here under the shade cloth. So I'm going to bring all my materials in here, mix it all in here. I'm going to use sheep manure. I'm going to use new compost that I just got. I'll roll footage of the dump truck. I got a whole dump truck load of it's composted horse manure mixed with sawdust. So sheep manure, that compost, rice hulls, and some black earth. I'm going to mix them all up right here and hopefully make a big enough pile to fill all these pots that are going to go out here. I haven't planted any seeds yet to go in the pots. So I'm also going to do that. I think I'm going to plant tomato, cucumber, and I think I'm going to try and do cantaloupe out there as well, and just try and get the cantaloupe to climb up the cage. I grew cantaloupe outdoors in the watermelon greenhouse, and it seemed to do okay in there, and they weren't like huge plants. So my whole goal for this like outdoor grow right here is to basically have like a wall. So all the pots are going to be here with their big cages, and I want like a wall of vegetation here. So we're going to have some plants here. They're probably not going to be too tall, but I just want it so that when you walk through here, like you got a wall of tomatoes, a wall of cucumbers, a wall of cantaloupe, all these things that are like viney crawling plants. So it's almost like a hallway when you walk down here, and then of course we'll have the pepper grow. We got the ducks. The ducks have been kind of ruining these plants. Well, not ruining them, but they like to eat these lower leaves. So there's been a little bit of pressure from the ducks, which has been kind of ticking me off, I'm not going to lie. And then we have wish willies living in here too, which I think are eating a little bit of the buds up top. Yeah, the chickens have been getting into these peppers, scratching up the soil, despite having the coconut fronds. So I don't know. The birds have been frustrating me lately, but these plants are coming out nice. See like these chewed apart leaves here. Some of that's from the ducks, and I think some of that's from the wish willies, the spiny-tailed iguanas that live here. So there's always something. I call it the tax man. It's the jungle tax. Look at these Scotch bonnets. These are huge. You probably can't tell on video, but that is a beefcake of a pepper. Really excited about that. Some more in here. Now these ones down in the middle are just like the first ones that pop up, but if you look up here, there's way more bud sites coming up at the top. Wow, look at how huge these are. Massive Scotch bone. Yeah, see, look at. Something's just been eating part of these peppers. It's frustrating. And it happened in the greenhouse too, so it's not just like a fully outdoor problem. Last year, about this time, I had caterpillars chewing the hell out of my peppers too, so hopefully outdoors the birds eat more of the caterpillars that come out on these plants. I noticed in the morning a lot of birds come through and like pick through the plants, so I don't know, we'll see. I'm always learning. Anyways, yeah, Project Wall of Green right here is starting now, so it's kind of hot out. It's not the best soil mixing weather, but no one's gonna do it for me. So this is the fencing I just bought today. I'm gonna use that to make the cages. So yeah, time to start sifting some manure. I like to sift everything when I'm making soil. It just makes like a fluffier soil mix, which lets the roots go through everything quicker, lets the plant grow quicker. So I don't know if I'm going to get it all mixed. What time is it? It's almost 3 in the afternoon, 2:45. So I'm just going to sift a bunch of material today and see how far I get. So this is exactly where I was last night when I saw the jaguarundi. I was running by here, I glanced at the ponds, and then right here, just out of these bushes, was the cat. And then it ran a few feet and then dashed into the woods right there. Crazy. Super, super crazy. Anyways, I'm pretty pumped with my run yesterday. I went 10 kilometers and it was the third time in my life that I've ever gone 10 kilometers. Today, I can't seem to eat enough. Here I am drinking a coconut. My favorite sports drink. But yeah, it's pretty cool to think that there's wild cats living here. They could be looking at me right now. Anyways, I came here to the ponds to get some coconut husks. We sell coconuts to the neighbor and he throws all the husks here. So I came to this pile to get some. I'm gonna use them as mulch on the new pots of soil that I just set up. The reason I like to use the solid coconut husks is to keep the chickens from scratching up the new soil, which they love to do. So after mixing up all this soil, I filled these pots, made these cages. These cages are a foot taller than the other ones I've used on my peppers. And that's because I've learned that the plants actually kind of need it. So you can kind of picture this whole laneway, like once these are filled with plants, and then you can picture another row here. It's kind of going to be, it doesn't look narrow now, but it's going to be kind of a narrow corridor. These are all going to be tomatoes, cucumbers, basically anything that climbs. The whole idea is to make like a food wall here, little hallway of food. So you walk down here and then you're into this pepper patch, which pepper patch is doing quite well as well. I got some of these pots here that are not planted out yet, so I'm hoping I got enough coconut husk for everything. I don't know, I might have to make another trip, but the coconut husk goes on top just to keep the chickens from scratching away. So we'll see how far this load goes. So anyways, this is what I'm talking about. Got some cocoa mulch. Should definitely keep the chickens from scratching the soil out of here. And it'll keep the wind from blowing the leaves off the top. But yeah, I'm pleased with how this turned out. And we'll see how tall the tomatoes grow, but I might still have to build some sort of structure over top to tie them up to, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Enough with the work. It was Easter weekend, so Jamie and Nelson and I loaded up the Jimny to go do some sightseeing and camping in the Mountain Pine Ridge. Look at this shit. You got any room, buddy?
Yeah, bro. Bro, the beer could have easily fit right up here. I'll put it up here, brother.
This thing is full. So we're packed up. About to go way back in the bush behind the Mountain Pine Ridge. We're gonna go see a waterfall on the way. We're gonna do a hike tomorrow morning. We're gonna eat a ton of meat.
We're gonna drink a ton.
We might have a couple drinks, maybe.
Yeah, we're changing.
I'm not drinking, I'm changing my life.
Idiots, dude. Let's go. Bro, I think this is where I jumped last time. You gonna jump?
Perfect.
Yeah, brother. Ah. Got him? Yeah! My guy. You can go right through the whole thing if you want. So we're out here deep in the mountain pine ridge and we don't have any brakes.
In the putas mobile.
Yeah, literally no brakes. Like pedal right to the floor right now. So lucky it's a stick shift. Hopefully we don't die. So editing Andy here, I just want to cut in for a minute and tell a little story about what happened right after that clip. We did lose our brakes. We got to this grade, it was probably a 2 or 3 kilometer long downhill grade in the mountain pine ridge with no brakes. And I thought I'd be fine to just downshift and let the engine slow us down. But what happened is we get to this grade, I downshifted from 4th into 3rd gear and we were still picking up speed. So I downshifted into 2nd and the engine, so in 2nd gear going down this hill, the engine was like almost at red line, just screaming, and we were still picking up speed. So at that point, we don't have a handbrake, we have 0 brakes. The road was paved for about half the hill, and then we get down to this section where it's gravel, so loose gravel. The road's under construction, so there's a few pieces of equipment parked, there's some gravel piles. Luckily no one was there and there was no traffic. But we're getting down, we could see this corner coming, a really sharp corner, and we had too much speed for it. And so I have 2 choices. I could either start fishtailing and like swerving side to side to bleed off speed, or downshift into 1st gear at the risk of blowing the motor, breaking the transmission, burning up the clutch. With everyone in the vehicle and all our gear and everything, I decided to do the money shift into 1st gear. So I quickly, like, you don't want to push the clutch in too long at all. because you're going to gain speed. So I quickly jammed into first gear, let the clutch out, and immediately the wheels just skidded. The motor went, like the tachometer went right to full. It goes to 8,000 RPM, and we were well past that. We were probably at 9 or 10,000 RPM. So I was like, okay, I don't want to break a camshaft or blow the motor. So I decided, okay, we'll put it back in second gear and start fishtailing. So that's what we did. Luckily, we didn't roll the thing. You know, it's a tiny little SUV. It's top heavy. I fishtailed enough just to bleed off enough speed. We made the corner, and then we get to the bottom of this hill, and there's a bridge under construction. We were still carrying quite a bit of speed, and we missed. So there's like the original bridge, and then there's a new bridge they're building, and we missed the little roadway down to the original bridge. So now we're heading towards the new bridge, which is taped off. The new bridge is finished enough that you could drive across it, but it's full of like equipment and materials and everything, and it's taped off. We managed to bleed off enough speed right before the bridge that, you know, we didn't go right onto the bridge. We stopped just before it. We turned around, made it onto the old bridge, made it across the river. And it was one of those moments where about 2 minutes after we came to a stop, we all just kind of started laughing. You know, you get the nervous laughter like, that could have been really bad. Because we're coming down this grade and the side of the roads don't have any guardrails. It's a steep hill. And things could have ended quite badly. And they didn't. So, sorry, Mom. I'm just telling you this now. We're fine. I'll show you how we fixed the brakes back at camp later on. We made it to camp, spoiler alert. I just want to give a big shout out to my boy Crazy Leo back in Canada. He's a rally driver. He runs Race Lab, which is a driver training company. I used to take lessons with him, some like performance rally driving lessons. I feel like if it wasn't for those lessons, things might have been different. Yeah, I took a few lessons with him. He does a lot of training on gravel, on ice, and like how to control your car in those situations. So I want to give him a big shout out for giving me those lessons. And I feel like if it wasn't for those, I don't know, things might have ended differently. And I was able to keep calm in the moment, not panic. And big shout out to Crazy Leo and Race Lab. That could have been a lot worse. Brake failures going down a hill. It's definitely no joke. And it was definitely pretty frightening in the moment. But yeah, we kept cool and we made it through. So thank you, Leo. Anyways, back to the video. So not only did we lose the brakes, but coming down the hill before the Guacamayo Bridge, I'm not even going to talk about it. I will explain what happened, but just not right now. But look at all the ants. Bro, we could just drive around.
It broke. I don't want to get stung by those.
Yeah, those are some serious ants, bro. Oh, look at that little glowy bug, dude. Look at his eyes. Hold on.
Hey, let's take it off. And tonight, kind of glow.
Look at his eyes are glowing. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't want to get bit by these ants.
That shit, they're staying hard.
Yeah. Yeah, we just drive by here.
Where's the little bug? I want to take it. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see that. That's crazy. That's pretty cool. So we finally made it out here to Las Cuevas, and we're camping right here on this Mayan causeway. So this was built by the Mayans like, I don't know, 1,000 years ago, and this would have been like a highway through the jungle. So that's pretty cool. Obviously it's kind of broken down now, but you can see it's like a raised raised highway, and apparently, like obviously there's nothing here, but apparently it keeps on going through the woods that way. There's a ruin over here somewhere down this trail, and this is where we're camping, right here. No. Yeah.
How would you even call?
Yeah. How would I even call, bro? Yo, like, how much meat do we have? There's 3 dudes here, and there's so much more meat in the cooler still. There's like 10 pounds of sheep meat, a whole other chicken. I got a butter. I got a butter. Look at this. We got chicken, we got sheep, we got sausage.
One chicken.
Cho. So I'm just going for a little walk through these trails here. And you can see the Mayan Causeway. This trail kind of parallels it. Trying to find an eyelash viper, or any kind of snake really, but eyelash viper is super high on my list. Yeah, no, I just think it's really cool that there's this Mayan causeway right here. Just goes through the forest. Pretty cool. Okay. You don't want to mess with that. Just found a baby red rump. Let's see. I don't know. Yeah, there you can see it. A little red rump tarantula. Just a little one. See if I can zoom in on it. So yeah, here we are at the causeway again. Got to cross over it. I feel like this would be a good spot to spot some snakes, tarantulas maybe, down in these nooks and crannies. It's like some Blair Witch Project shit. I'm so scared right now. Okay, this is where they're gonna have their fire tonight. We were told there's gonna be a little bonfire. Clearly this is the spot. Either that or there's gonna be some sort of sacrifice. Oh, okay, here's the pyramid. So this is like an unexcavated Mayan pyramid. I knew there was one back here. I'd heard about it. Yeah, it's so cool that you can just be walking through the bush here and see a freaking Mayan pyramid in the middle of the jungle. Look at the globe. Oh, you can't see it anymore. I forget the name of the bugs that glow. But yeah, that's super cool. There's big trees growing out of it now. Yeah, that's a Mayan pyramid. There used to be a whole community here. But that's what the causeway leads up to. How cool is that? I don't know what species bird that is, but tucked up in the tree like that. Very cool. Sorry, little buddy. Damn. Well, here's a spider with a bunch of babies on its back, and I just missed it catching an insect. That's crazy. Got all the little spiders on it. But yeah, it just caught something. And it's eating it. Ugh, that's wild. Here's a baby red rump. cruising around looking for a meal probably. Yeah, red rump. I don't like handling them at night. They're too twitchy.
Aggressive.
Yeah. They'll stick you with those little hairs. Boys kind of went crazy with the glow sticks. Oh my god. I didn't realize how many were in the tent. Oh my god.
Right behind you.
Idiots, dude.
Only boys could think of something.
After staying up way too late, it was time to hunker down in my hammock and try to get some sleep.
God bless America. Yeah. Save me, save me.
The brake line was leaking near the rear wheel, so we ended up crimping the line to the rear brakes and refilling the reservoir with motor oil, which was given to us by one of the workers at the campsite. Thank you, Mr. Mesh. It ain't pretty, but it got us home. We had one final stop to make on the way out at Rio on Pools. Being Easter weekend, a big crowd had turned out. Families and friends gathered with their grills and ice boxes to spend the day relaxing, eating, and enjoying the refreshing waters. And a few refreshing beverages as well.